Greetings. I'm so glad you joined me today. My name is Ronnie Sarrett Letterman. My websites are vocalfocus.com and voice-movement.com. Let's take your voice to the next level. You can do it. I have a lot of information to share with you today about how to practice in between voice lessons to make the most out of your voice lessons. And I want you to really try to stay to the end. I guarantee you'll have a few laughs because I do some funny things. You're going to learn about breathing, posture, vocal colors, high notes, the open throat, and more. So please stay tuned and watch to the end. This video is about how to practice to improve your voice in between voice lessons. And it's also a nice guide for voice teachers in how to teach. It's okay to do exercises or make sounds with your voice, or do breathing exercises for that matter, but you have to have some concepts in mind as you make these sounds. It's kind of like the concepts are the groundwork, and you make sounds with the concepts in place. And I have 6 points today that I'm going to share with you. So, my first is about posture. Posture is not standing or sitting with tight abs, like a soldier, pinching your shoulders back, that kind of thing. Posture is about having good alignment. So, when you stand up, you feel your feet on the floor, nice and steady, but your abs are loose and flexible, and your pelvic floor, which are your bathroom muscles, are flexible. And so it's good to actually find these muscle groups first. And also, your shoulders shouldn't be tight. We could tighten our shoulders, take a breath. It's going to feel really tight, right? And then loosen our shoulders, take a breath. Nice and loose. Now, tighten your abs, take a breath. Don't do that gently. You'll notice that, you can tighten your abs, you can relax your abs, and it's good to find that relaxed ab position in good posture, good alignment. You can squeeze your pelvic floor shut, and that would be like a Kegel exercise. You might want to look that up if you don't know what it is. You can squeeze your Kegel area, your pelvic floor, and then you can relax it. So you can feel those muscle groups. You want to get familiar with that. And before you do any singing, any exercises, you want to make sure those areas are supple, pliable, and movable with the breath. They're not pushed out on purpose by you, but they passively move with the breath. The belly and the pelvic floor move because you're breathing and you're relaxed, and things are not being gripped in the body. So that is numero uno, guys. Very, very important before you do any vocalizing. Imagine what would happen vocalizing in a tight body. It's not pretty. Okay, so number 2. This one no one ever talks about. I don't know why. But breath flow, guys. Breath flow. When you speak, when you sing, you want that breath flowing. And you don't want it getting narrower when you're singing high notes. You don't want a tight breath flow in high notes, or loud notes, or quiet notes. You want, no matter what vowel, no matter what you're doing, the breath should be flowing. And so that is the space of the silent breath. So if you just took a mouth breath right now, silently, and feeling all that breath flow, you may feel your belly reacting passively to that breath flow, and your pelvic floor too. And it's just a little bit of supple movement in the body, and that is the open throat, and that is the diaphragmatic breath. So those 2 things right there are going to get you breathing correctly, supporting correctly, and able to, in a healthy way, make some sounds with your voice. And no matter what sound you make, those are the conditions that you have to maintain. So important, though, to make progress, right? So the third thing is notice the state of your jaw, tongue, and face when you're just like before you start singing. So you want to think of the tongue as a fat blob, nice and loose. The jaw not gripped, no clenching, just a nice loose jaw and a nice loose face. So just like things feel kind of puffy and loose. And that will really help the voice box not get tight in there, because if you get tight anywhere in these areas, it does affect this, just sort of like by osmosis. So for example, if you make a really funny face and squish up some of the muscles in your face, you'll find you'll feel tightness here. And you could, squish up your tongue in the back, tighten your tongue. You're going to tighten this. And so people don't realize that. Get your jaw nice and tight. Ooh, really makes a big impact. So sometimes a little bit of contrast is important to find these areas, and then just think mushy, soft, subtle, supple. You know, that's what you want, not subtle, supple. So supple, spongy, soft. And so those are the conditions before you even make a sound. And just practicing that actually helps warm up the voice. So these are crucial, I think. Okay, so then number 4 is now that you've established all of this, we're going to do some vocal quality sounds, some finesse into the voice, some variety into the voice. I call it your palette, your artist's palette, your colors. So one of the most important ones is sob. I want you guys just to find some sob in your voice. It's got that breath flow going, it's got that relaxation going, and it's just, oh, like you're complaining, oh, kind of a deep complaint. You want to practice that quality. It's not something we normally use. People would think we were weird if we did, but these are silly sounds that we take seriously to get into the singing voice and sometimes more expressiveness into the speaking voice. Sob is one of the most important qualities you can find in your voice. I sometimes tell men who are a little bit older, you know, the Three Stooges, like, oh, just really goofy, right? So think Three Stooges, think Stooges, think breath flow, think deep, think, oh, breath is flowing. You know, it's opulent breath flow and easy peasy, or it doesn't work. The next one is twang. See, by the way, I said that. It's twang. It still has breath flow. A lot of people want to squeeze on twang. So meow like a cat. Meow. But don't say meow in your speaking voice. Say it in a cat voice. And so that's developing some twang. And, you know, if you have problems with that, you know, don't do it on your own. If any of this feels difficult, you have to bring it to your voice teacher. Don't do it on your own, but if it feels easy and fun and it doesn't hurt your voice and you feel warmed up, do these. Another one is just thinking forward focus. So, and thinking chest voice. So, yeah, hey. It's a kind of a big, bulky kind of feeling with a lot of forward focus. I like the word yeah. So, you know, it's kind of like your tongue is flicking forward a lot of air and just vibration into your face. So it's nice to do that too, so that we're not sucking the sound back. Those are some vocal qualities you might want to practice. And the next thing, number 5, is when you do high notes, make sure they are without squeezing, forcing, pushing in any way. You just kind of want to feel them expand in all directions, like, oh, with a lot of breath flow. So that's, again, you may have to do that with your teacher, but if it feels easy and it feels good and it warms up your voice, then it's safe to do it. And all of these have all of the underpinnings that I talked about that are important. And the last thing is, number 6, each time you take a breath, and most of us don't realize this, but each time you take a breath, you are resetting your throat space. So every breath is a new throat space and a new opportunity to open your throat. And when you sing with all that throat space of the breath you just took. And you don't let it get narrow as you're singing. Hope this was helpful. Like, subscribe. See you soon.